Ever had your live bait die halfway through a session, or even worse, before a session even starts? Well, you're not alone. But today I'm going to show you everything you need to know to keep your live bait healthy and active. Let's dive in. There are a few common mistakes I see people make when they're trying to keep their live bait alive for as long as possible. One of those mistakes is overcrowding. They put way too much live bait in just a little bucket with a little bit of water, but expect the live bait to be really healthy and active. What a lot of people don't realize is bait shops run commercial systems. For example, I had to get this frame and these tubs custom built. I also have to run a protein skimmer, as well as canister filters with media and a water chiller to regulate water temperature, as well as commercial grade air pumps, and also controlling water flow through the entire system. I still remember a summer about 9 years ago when I was still relatively new to the industry, where I had a large delivery of live worms come in on a Friday, and then came in Saturday morning and found everything dead. I lost $5,000 worth of live bait overnight. It's that type of situation that bait shops go through that cause them to invest so heavily in their systems. But because you guys are going to be dealing with way smaller volumes, it's going to be way easier for you guys to keep them alive than it is for us. Another common mistake is not enough aeration or no aeration at all. The more bait you've got, the faster they're going to absorb all the oxygen that's in the water, so you must have some sort of aeration source. Now don't worry, I'm going to go through all the equipment you need later in the video. Another really common mistake is incorrect water changes. What you have to keep in mind is when you're doing a water change, the water temperature of the new water you're going to be adding to your live bait has to be as close as possible to the water temperature of the water that your live bait is already in. This is absolutely critical for live baits like worms. If the difference in water temperature varies by more than 2 degrees Celsius, you will give your worms thermal shock and they will break apart and die. The best way to deal with this is by keeping another bucket of water in the same location that you're keeping your actual worms, so that when you do a water change, they should be very equal in temperature, which will help you completely avoid the thermal shock issue. Now, other live baits like saltwater nippers and prawns aren't as sensitive to water temperature changes, as long as the water temperature difference isn't too big. So if there's a 10 degree Celsius difference in water temperatures, that can cause you some issues. But if the difference in water temperature is much less drastic, if it's only just a few degrees Celsius, it doesn't really have much impact on them. Now, when it comes to the essential gear that you're going to need, it's actually quite simple. All you need is a bucket. Size of the bucket will depend on how much live bait you're trying to keep, and then an air pump. Now when it comes to the air pump, it's worth getting a decent one, because the really cheap ones, when they get a little bit wet, they just stop working. Also, make sure you've got some spare batteries. Now, water management. Water management is probably the most important thing when it comes to keeping live bait. About 80% of the equipment you saw at the beginning of the video is all to help control the water quality. Now for you guys, it's way more simple. Let me explain. As long as you're using the right size bucket for the amount of bait you're keeping in that bucket, and as long as you've got enough oxygen saturation, you've pretty much got it covered if you're only trying to keep your bait alive for about a day. If you need to keep your live bait alive for a few days, the key is going to be monitoring. Let's use the saltwater nippers as an example. If you've got a bunch of saltwater nippers in your bucket and you notice one has died, you need to remove the dead one from the bucket as quickly as possible, because once your live bait start to die, it causes an ammonia spike in the water. As the ammonia levels rise, more of your live bait start to die, and then it just turns into a loop of more ammonia, more dead bait, more ammonia, more dead bait. But you can easily prevent this by removing any bait that dies. Now this applies to your live worms, your live prawns, your live nippers, and even your live bait fish. When any type of live bait dies, ammonia levels will start to rise in the water and will start killing off the rest of your live bait. So as long as you're keeping an eye out and removing all your dead bait, that'll help keep your water parameters stable and keep your live bait much more healthy and active. Now, another thing you need to keep in mind, the more live bait you've got in the bucket or container that you're using to hold your live bait, the more water you're going to need in that bucket or container, and the more oxygen your live bait are also going to need. For example, if you've got one air pump, that could support 100 to 150 nippers, whereas one air pump will not produce enough oxygen saturation to keep 100 live prawns healthy. In that situation, you either need to use an additional air pump or a bigger air stone to make sure you're creating enough oxygen saturation in the water to keep all your live bait healthy. The same thing goes for bait fish. If you have a 20-litre bucket with one aerator, that can probably support up to about 10 yellowtail, for example. Whereas if you've got a bigger fishing trip planned, then you need 20 or 30 live bait fish like yellowtail. you might be better off splitting them into separate buckets, each with their own aerator, to make sure there's plenty of oxygen saturation as well as good quality water parameters to keep those bait fish active and healthy for the entirety of the trip. So remember, if you want to make sure you keep your live bait healthy and active for as long as possible, you want to make sure that they're not overcrowded. You've got enough oxygen saturation. You keep the water temperature stable, especially when you're doing water changes. Keep the extra water in a spare bucket in the same location as your live bait to make sure the water temperatures are as close as possible. That way you prevent thermal shock, especially with worms. Doesn't matter as much for live nippers, prawns, or bait fish. Keep your live bait out of direct sunlight, especially on hot days. And most important of all, if any of your live bait do die, you need to make sure you remove them from the bucket as quickly as possible to prevent any ammonia spikes, which will pretty much wipe out the rest of your live bait. If you do those things, you shouldn't have any trouble at all keeping your live bait healthy and active for the duration of your entire fishing trip. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll catch you in the next one.